In this video, we're going to be looking at odd one out, which is a non-verbal reasoning question type. Some of this material has been taken from other non-verbal reasoning books, which you can find linked in the video description down below, alongside a free PDF with some questions for you to try after this video. So let's start by taking a look at the explanation from the book. Odd one out questions consist of 5 figures, generally. One of the figures do not share a certain feature with the others. The shape which is least like the rest is the odd one out. So that's the most important part, I would have to say, for this, is what is the least like. There's obviously going to be several different shapes which can be the odd one out in some way, shape or form, but what you're looking for is the thing that is least like the other 4. So bear that in mind as we go through. So let's take a look at the first example. It's a really straightforward one. Here is an example of an odd one out question. You have A, B, C, D and E. I'm pretty sure you're going to know which one the answer is, but let's go through anyway. Look along the 5 figures and try to find the most common feature. Obviously in this example the most common feature is that most of the shapes have a white fill and D has a black fill, so D is the odd one out. D is the one that is the least like the others. The second example is not as straightforward. In this example we have A, B, C, D and E. They all have white fill, so it's not going to be to do with the colour of the shape. The most common feature is that most of the shapes have 4 sides, except E. Now when you think 4 sides, you usually think square, rectangle. If you're a bit more adventurous, you might think parallelogram or trapezium or rhombus. But there are some irregular 4-sided shapes here. D is the only one that doesn't have 4 sides. So that's the one that's the odd one out. That's the one that's the least like the other 4. So let's take a look at some examples that we've made specifically for this video. And we're going to start with question 1 over here. You might think that all of these look the same. I'll give you a second to see if you can see anything that might be a bit different. Okay. If you haven't seen already, there is one shape that is different to the rest. Now, when you see a question that has lots of shapes that look fairly similar, it's most likely going to be a rotational symmetry question. With rotational symmetry, I usually pick a point on the first shape and see if the rest of them match. So we'll go with the black curving out with a white dot going clockwise. Black curving out with a white dot. Sorry, anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise, anti-clockwise. This one, also anti-clockwise. This one with the white dot and the black curve is actually going clockwise. So it could be that one. And then we have white dot, black pointing outwards, anti-clockwise. So D has been actually flipped over. So if you see any shapes like this yin-yang symbol or like car logos and things like that where they've got rotational symmetry, or anything that's like this, they're going to be rotational symmetry questions. Let's take a look at question 2. Okay, question 2 has 5 fairly simple shapes. You can see 3 of the shapes are white and 2 of the shapes are black, so it's not going to be to do with a fill. Next thing I like to do is to look for number of sides. So we can say 7, 6, 4, 5, 4. So it's not like there's 4 shapes with 4 sides and 1 with 3 like we had in the example. And remember, it's least like, so you can't just say it's this one because that has 7 sides and the rest of them don't. Because this has 6 and the rest of them don't. This has 5 and the rest of them don't. Therefore that can't be the thing that makes it least like the others. So not the number of sides, not the shape itself, not the colour. We're going to say these are regular shapes, meaning that the number of the length of each side is equal and the interior angles are all equal. Same for all the rest of these. But the first one is a trapezium. It's not a regular shape. A regular four-sided shape is a square. So A is our odd one out. It's the only irregular shape. Question 3. A little bit more complex. Some more complex features going on here. Again, the outside they're actually all regular shapes, so it's not like the last one. The big shape all have white or clear fills. And then inside we have some stuff going on. So we've got 5 pentagons inside this large pentagon. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 octagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 octagons in that one. 4 squares in the square. 6 hexagons in the hexagon. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 heptagons in the heptagon. So B is the only one where those patterns don't match. Question 4. Okay. 5 completely abstract shapes. We know that it's not to do with the fill because there's 3 and 2. So 3 white ones and 2 black ones. So it's not to do with the fill. I guess we just see the number of sides. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as well. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's one curved side. That's 5. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now you might think that, well, this has straight sides, there's no curved sides on that. Or you might say this is the only one that has a concave curve, like inwardly, rather than a convex outward pointing curve. But it's not what makes them the least like the other ones. So I'm going to go with E as the only 6-sided shape amongst 4 other 5-sided shapes. Question 5. We have 5 shapes. They all look like regular shapes. They all have the same fill. They all have a different number of sides. So it's going to be something to do with these lines that go to the middle. So these have lines going from the point into the middle, which creates triangles. This has lines going to the middle as well. They don't go from the corner though, and they don't create triangles. And it looks like the rest of them do go from the points, and they do go to the middle, and they do create triangles. So at first glance they might look like they're all doing the same thing, but actually B is doing something slightly different. And you could say there's different reasons for this. You could say, oh, it's the only one where the lines go from the edges. You could say it's the only one where it doesn't create triangles. It's just 2 different ways of getting to the same answer, really. And the last one, question 6. Okay. We have a mixture of big and small shapes, one inside the other. Again, I'm going to eliminate colour because white, black, black, white, black, white, white, black, black, white. There's a mixture of the 2 different options there, so I can't rule anything out from that. The outside shapes are all regular shapes. 5, 7, 6, 3, 8. Nothing to rule out there, all different. Inside shapes 6, 4, 5, 8, 5. These both have the same inside shape, but nothing to rule out. Whenever I see a question like this, and it's not obviously rotational symmetry or the fill, and I see these mixture of different shapes, I usually tend to go for number of sides. So let's say this is 5 and 6 total, so yeah, so 6 there, 5 there, which makes 11. 4 and 7 makes 11. Okay, this could be a pattern. 5 and 6 make 11. 8 and 3, total of 11 sides. Hopefully this one's different. We've got 5 and 8, 13. Okay, so it's E. It's the only one with the two shapes total 13 sides. The other 4 have a total of 11 sides, so E is our odd one out. So I hope you found that useful. Don't forget you can find the free PDF with odd one out questions in the video description for you to try at home, alongside a link for the nonverbal reasoning book. To watch another nonverbal reasoning video, click on one of these boxes over here, and don't forget to like and subscribe.